That's a tough one. I'm not good at that. Each one served the movie they were in correctly. People get so bummed on Jared's performance, and I'm like, really? That was the thing that took away from that movie? Like, that would have been a better movie had he done a better job? I like what he did with that, and I like how they wrote it, and I like the makeup and costume design, and it's not memorable. It's not one of my favorites. So what is it? So what are you saying? So what does it come? You're asking me what it comes down to. Is it Heath or Joaquin? Is really the question. Again, they were both for the movie they were in. I will say that both Jared and Joaquin, that wouldn't have been the same without Heath. I still feel like everyone's still doing a little bit of Heath in their performance. He's set the tone for what they are now, and the foppish gangster Joker is sort of old now, and now it's the punk rock underground Joker. It's hard to judge Joaquin's as a Joker because that movie could have been ended with anything. Funny that they made a Joker movie and it really wasn't a Joker movie. It was just the story of Arthur Fleck, and that could have gone in any direction. So comparing the two is, I don't know, comparing Freddy and Jason. Like, it's like, yeah, they were both slashers, but one's kind of one thing and one's the other. They're both great acting performances. I don't know what you want me to say. There's,
okay.
I'll say Nicholson. And I knew you were going to ask that too, and I've had so much distance from it now, which probably doesn't say much for it since most of it's left me. I went into it like some people, or like me, or like us, or at least knowing that other people would go into something like this swinging and ready to shit all over it, and I purposefully went into it with a frame of mind that I keep an open mind. I understand what we're getting into here. It's very it's confrontational, because if something like this forces you to think about, my mind didn't wander while I was watching it. I mean, I guess I was engrossed, but if a movie like this forces you to think about stuff while you're watching it, I found myself thinking about horror movies, modern horror movies, Stephen King adaptations, Kubrick, remakes, reboots, sequels, prequels, stuff they did, the winks and the nudges, which I don't usually like that kind of stuff, but can't help but think of the Psycho remake, other things that play with your nostalgia, like the newest Star Wars trilogy or the new Jurassic Park movies. The whole movie leads up to, I don't want to do like spoilers or anything, but if you saw the trailer, you already know. The whole movie leads up to like a shining ride, or a shining theme park, to quote Mr. Scorsese, where they literally were like, we're gonna dust off your memories, and we're gonna turn the electricity back on, and you're gonna ride the ride again. And that's what the whole movie leads up to. And even if you're not into movies or film, suddenly you're paying attention to lighting and lenses and set decoration and pacing, because you're seeing like let's see how closely they can get it to how Stanley did it. And so it ends with this sort of big gimmick, and then you look back on it and you realize, like, gee, if you can try to get that right, like, why not do the whole movie that way? Why doesn't anybody do all their movies that way? Like, if you can be that meticulous the way he was, I don't know. I don't think anybody walked out of it, or anyone walked out of it and saying like, no, it was good. Yeah, I liked it. And people say, well, was it as good as The Shining? Well, no, it couldn't possibly be as good as The Shining. Well, why not? It's up your game. It's 2020. Come on, man. Like, why can't something? Why not try a little harder?
I swear this is the question that was on here.
Conflicted? I don't know how to articulate it, okay? He's like Pepsi.
Well, what's Coke?
Stuff I really like. I like him a lot. Because I can't put my own feelings into words about my own expectations about what I want when I go to see a movie, when I know who it's made by. It's like a remake or a reboot. It's like, I want the same thing, but can you make it different? And that's true of any auteur. Like, I want to make sure you're still doing the stuff I like, but make sure you surprise me. He's really good at, he keeps making the stuff you like. But there's no surprise. He hasn't pulled out any surprises. Like I said, like since Bottle Rocket or Rushmore. Rushmore felt like the Boogie Nights or the Pulp Fiction. Like, oh, this is a few more dollars, some bigger ideas, some grand performances, a little tighter, a little neater, like going in a good direction. I went up here, and then everything kind of stayed up here. Here is good. This is all good, but there has been no real fluctuation as far as like, wow, I didn't think he'd go there, or he's matured, or that's interesting, or that's a little less quirky, a little darker. It's just been an even keel, and it's a nice, comfortable place. But I've never walked away like, wow, like, he's come so far. I don't know. I'm doing my best. I never want to put him down. I just.
So you don't dislike anything he's made. You're not getting impressed by his work.
I'm just. It's like any movie. I think Jerry Seinfeld said something about like, we're always so bummed when we're not like blown away by something. Like, do we always have to be blown away by everything? And my thought is, yeah. Why not? Like, why should we be?
Hope accepting mediocrity.
Yeah. I don't know how much thought I put into why I thought life was pretty good. I guess it was because it was full of surprises, and I went into it not knowing much about it, and well,
very, very little. Kind of went into it just we wanted to go see a movie. Remember, we didn't have a lot of high hope or.
Well, yeah. Well, very low expectations and not knowing anything about the plot is a pretty good formula for, I guess, surprise. Of course, that was the formula going into Alien Covenant. And there were no surprises. What I've always been saying about alien movies is that after Alien, they've just tried to keep remaking Aliens. Unsuccessfully. At least in the Alien franchise. There have been some, I guess, some horror movies or some sci-fi movies or some of both that have sort of tried to do what Alien did to a much better, higher standard than any other movie in the Alien franchise, which have all been trying to do what Aliens did. I guess the worst thing I can say about Covenant is that I don't remember I don't remember a frame of that movie. I remember the trailer, and that's about it.
I remember this horrible computer-generated image with its wild, unterrifying image, presence running around on some kind of aircraft. That's all I remember about it. It's terrible.
And when I do remember something, I think like, oh yeah, that was neat. I like that. And then I realized, oh no, that was Prometheus. Yeah, but life was I wouldn't say I was scared, but I felt a little tense throughout it. A lot of good performances. I can't remember. It's Ryan Reynolds. I liked Ryan Reynolds on it too.
Yeah, me too.
I like Jake in anything. And who was the female? Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah. Oh, from Dr. Sleep, right?
For real?
Yeah. She's wicked hot, isn't she?
She's lovely.
Yeah. I was so distracted watching that movie, I think I was just staring at her boobs.
Really?
Yeah.
Hated her performance.
No, but I kept, staring. She had the wardrobe. They did a good job with her wardrobe, too. I just want to dress like her. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yes,
and wear her hats.
I'm sure everybody did, and I'm sure we haven't been to a convention since.
There was a spike in bohemian clothing.
I'm sure there will be some cosplay.
Oh, man, I'm all over that. So, yeah, I think that was it for that movie for me, was that Jake.
Wow, hi there.
No, not by a long shot.
No?
No.
Really? I'm surprised.
No.
Because you hold that movie into such an esteem, I thought for sure that Magnolia had finally been dethroned.
No.
So you still don't think he's made anything better than that?
No. Phantom Thread made it onto my top 100 somewhere in there. I don't know. I wouldn't even say top 10, but no. And I can't get into a big thing about Magnolia. I mean, I've done enough with that. And I don't know that he ever will. He's just gone in a different direction where maybe I'm still stuck there, and he's sort of moved on. He's definitely moved on. He said so himself. He's incredibly proud of everything he's done. He was on Mark Maron's podcast, and Mark Maron asked him about the running time of the movie. And Paul said it's way too fucking long, and that he would cut it down. I've always defended the length of that movie, and I thought if there was only ever one person who was on my side, it would have been Paul. And that's kind of like, it's like hearing if somebody asked Paul McCartney, said, what do you think of Hey Jude? And he said, it's great. I wish we just cut out all those na-na-na-nas on the end of it. And you just, what are you saying? Like, you're killing me, man. There are so few love stories. I mean, they're so ripe for great performances and great writing and cinematography and whatever, and editing, because you can work around it because they usually pace. There's not a lot of big action, and the thing we did it with Punch Drunk Love too, where you can write a love story, but that leaves so much room for interesting writing. And like just looking at Marriage Story recently and how much space that allows can write these great big monologues and give them to these competent actors who can do so much with it and run with it. I mean, but this story is pretty basic. I mean, it's like 80s Woody, or just the divorce genre in general is its own thing. The thing with Phantom Thread is that you take a love story and like you get to a certain point in the movie where it's like, oh, that's weird. Like what I'm so familiar and used to, like now you're fucking with me now. Like, so what is this movie now? I don't understand what's going on. I guess he's always done genre bending. You know what Phantom Thread is? It could be cyclical because it felt like Heart 8, where like you're watching it, you're going along, and it's like, I'm enjoying this, but I don't know where it's going. Like, and then you get to that point, and it's like, he hasn't done that. Well, yeah, since Heart 8, and I don't know if anyone's brought that up. I wonder if he's even aware of that, because he was very aware of that with Heart 8, because he as he was writing it, he didn't know where it was going until he got to a certain point, and it's like, oh, now we have a direction and we're going somewhere. It's a very writerly movie. That's the other thing too, is that nothing can touch Magnolia visually, and I'm not gonna say that Phantom Thread looks bad at all, but it's a very writerly movie, and it makes you want to write movies when you're watching it. Like, and it gives you that realization, like, well, you can write about anything you want.
I'll be remembering you, whatever else